This business, it is simply a few really good people. It's not big agencies or anything else. And if you're lucky enough to have a few of those people around you, you can probably succeed, because there aren't a whole bunch of them. I'll tell you that. There are a lot of people in this business, but damn few really good ones.
So I had this assignment, and there were 4 things at play that actually made it more like a watershed moment than just another advertising assignment. One, I had a great client. It was St. Mary's, and 2, had this incredible creative brief. It was really well crafted. I think it was Julie Brown and Amy Brazel may have worked on it. 3, I had a really good deadline to work with too. Plenty of time to contemplate a whole bunch of different directions and to do a lot of concepting. And you needed that too, because Mark had this mantra: don't come to me until you've got at least 100 headlines. So maybe I was halfway there on that one. And I had narrowed it down to 20, and I thought they were a great idea. So I had them all typed up. I thought I'd take these into Mark. Mark sat down. I said, here's the concepts, have a look. So he took a look at these headlines, and he's reading them. Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's a good one. That's good. And I'm just sitting here feeling good about it. And all of a sudden, he just turns to me, and he says, you've got some good ideas here. Now, why don't you take 2 more days and come back to me with a great idea. I couldn't say anything to that. And when I did come back, I did. I came back with something that was far better than what I showed originally. And while that client may have gone away and the creative brief may have changed and everything else, what Mark shared with me then just made a lifetime of a difference on how I approach a lot of the creative challenges that come along.
Okay, so Mark has a lot of little idiosyncrasies.
I like this. And I know... How does that go?
The shaking leg. It's like always going up and down, up and down, up and down. What's funny to me is that he's just such a space cadet. That umpire has no neck. He looks so confused. I'm like, what are you doing? He says, I'm looking for a vampire. That's Mark.
One of the biggest moments for me when I was going to school, I was driving home one night, driving down Sierra Street, and there was an outdoor board that just jumped out and grabbed me, and I thought to myself, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. And it was super simple. It was a black board with white type with a pink flamingo that said, free parking, lots. I want to do that.
It's a hard business to remain prideful, but I happen to believe that when advertising is done well, the wall or the billboard that celebrates a brand artfully and beautifully can be part of our culture as opposed to some form of pollution.
So I always thought Mark was this amazing, amazing thing. And but then I'd go to an Addy Awards, and then the first exposure I had after hearing his name was, Mark this legend, Mark this icon, and I'd go and see the ads that won all these awards. And it was pretty awesome, the amount of awards that Mark was winning. But as a writer, I went, wow, all this work is kind of cliche, kind of punny, kind of glib. Little rhymes and little phrases, catchphrases, and I went, wow, that's not what I thought was coming from this guy who I sort of, imagined as like Hemingway, in downtown Reno writing these iconoclastic ads. So Mark, I guess I owe you a huge apology that all that work that I thought was yours, that I thought was sort of, that was Scott's all along. It was Mortimer. I'm so sorry.
I was booked with a digital patch session with a studio in Los Angeles for Mark, and it just so happened that was the morning that our second son was born. And I was in the hospital. Things had gone really well. I I said to Catherine, any chance you would mind if I just go take care of Mark? I'll be right back. Well, she was not very happy with me that I didn't get back until afternoon. But Mark, anything for you.
Hello everyone, this is John Broder, way back in Boston. To me, Mark and his dad, who actually introduced me to Mark, are gifts to the advertising world and to Reno, and to the West and to the U.S. So I am really celebrating tonight and certainly proud of Mark. I wish I could be there. And I'm proud of his lifetime of achievement and our lifetime of friendship. And if he's looking bored or annoyed right now, will someone get up and go kick him? Thanks very much.
We used to have to cut and paste our type. And Mark loved to change words when we were cutting and pasting. So you'd have a little stash off the right of letters that we'd have to cut apart the letters and build the new word with. And not only did Mark want that new word, but he watched every centimeter of each letter going down on those things over your shoulder. It's another good way to learn under fire.
I met Mark Curtis in a bar sometime in the mid-1980s. He handed me some line about how he was in the ad business, and he and his father and Jim Rogers were starting an agency. One of our best gigs was doing the first full-scale advertising campaign for the University of Nevada, Reno's fundraising effort. Mark hired Scott Mortimer, who wrote several amazing commercials, while Mark created one of the most elegant print campaigns I had ever seen, anywhere. Everything went smoothly until Mark Sr. suggested that the correct way to identify a university's location was to separate its name from the city with a comma rather than a hyphen. The university brass had all studied grammar in school, so they agreed. Surprise, surprise, the local radio stations went ballistic about the change. You would have thought we'd spit on the flag. I'd never seen so huge a controversy over a punctuation mark. But we persevered, the campaign raised millions for the U, and the agency was off and running. Mark was bright, talented, dedicated to perfection, and a colossal pain in the ass. I figured he was a perfect fit for some big job at a major agency in Seattle or L.A. But he stayed here near his beautiful daughters, Brittany and Joey, and his beloved hometown. He married Valerie, who makes him possible, sired the legendary Henry, and worked like hell to make Reno better. He continued to do unique creative work and write some absolutely right-on columns for the RTJ. Mark's one of the people who has made my last 30 years in Reno some of the best in my life, and I'm delighted to see him honored here today. Love you, man.
All of this having to talk nice is just exhausting. So we were stuck in the airport for 3 days, maybe 2 days. Felt like 3 days, with Adam Dahlhaus and me and Mark Curtis, and yeah, we were just laughing at everything, just completely punch drunk. Adam's doing his Joe Pesci impersonation. Fuck it. Mark Curtis looks at me after like a couple days of just pure laughter, and he says, Jeff, you know, I love you, but I've had just about enough of you.
Creative people rise up. They can't do shit unless we make ads for them. You know, we should be in charge.
Mark, congratulations. I'm sorry I can't be with you. I have to be out of town while you're enjoying this wonderful honor, and it is a well-deserved recognition. Thank you to all the people in the audience that are there to recognize you. Thank you as a citizen for your love for Reno and all that you've done and continue to do to make this city special.
Congratulations, Mark.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Good going.
I love you, Mark, and I've just about had enough of you.
I'd like a little ice cream with a little chocolate sauce. My hands are ice cream, a little chocolate sauce. A little bit more, a little chocolate sauce. Yeah.